Hello folks and fans, and welcome to this first installment of Now We're Piping with Dr. Rockwood. In this series, I'm going to basically take you through a tour of all of my pipes. I'm not going to show them to you all at once, but I'll do maybe one or two per episode. Keep the video short, give you some background behind each one, some history, maybe some anecdotes, because after all, anyone who first becomes active in the YTPC pretty much gives a tour of their pipes and maybe a tour of their tobaccos, and I am no exception to the rule. So I hope you enjoy this first installment. Today I'll be talking about two Claude Romain pipes made in France that I really enjoy. So stick around. Thanks. So to start off with, two Claude Romain pipes made in France but purchased here in Ottawa. Now this first one is probably my oldest Claude Romain, and it's been with me for quite some time, years even, and you can see there's a little bit of mud here and here. This thing is a champion though. I've smoked it straight for a couple of days. It smokes cool, it smokes dry. Lovely pipe. This is one of the oldest pipes that I have, and also one of the first pipes that I actually also purchased. I had gone through a few in the past previously, but this is the first sort of higher quality one, if you can call it that, that I had purchased. Here you see it says made in France, Claude Romain Flair. I got this at the Cumberford Cigar Shop downtown. I think at the time I must have had this pipe for about 15 years. I think it cost me like $50 or something, but it's been with me through thick and thin. I smoke everything out of this pipe. I'm not a big aromatic guy, but nowadays I primarily smoke Englishes out of it. Funny story though, and you'll see on the second pipe that I show you, you'll notice a white CR logo stamped on this side of the shank. And the reason that it's not there anymore is that when I first got this pipe, I was still living with my parents and they didn't know I smoked at the time. So I went out, I snuck out for a smoke and to walk the dog. And I wanted to clean it up very nicely so that it wouldn't stink in my bedroom. Well, I had the bright idea of running the hot water in the washroom sink and then trying to wash the vulcanite under the hot water, and it instantly turned like a yellowish green, so it oxidized immediately, and I was pretty much stuck trying to remove everything, scraping everything off slowly with a penknife, and then using sandpaper to try and, buff it back to somewhat of a regular looking color. Yeah, so that's why the CR isn't there anymore, even though when I look at it in the light, I can, very faintly make out the impression of where it used to be. So this is the first Claude Romain. My second Claude Romain, and here you'll see the CR that I'm talking about. So this is a Claude Romain Elan brand, or not brand, but Elan series rather. It's bigger than the first one. I got this recently actually, and this one again, also made in France. I got this less than a year ago, and I wanted to get another power horse for cheap. I think earlier this year, I think I probably paid $60. And when I say dollars, I mean Canadian. So I got this from my local brick and mortar, and I really like the grain. I really like the color on it. But I didn't notice that it had some light scratches to it when I purchased it, and you can see that here. Not that it really mattered to me, just because these are my kind of, throw in my backpack or keep in my pocket with all sorts of other stuff type of pipe. So I don't mind if it gets a little bit banged up, but I basically wanted to get a nicer version of this one. And then once I did buy this one, I realized that, you know, it does tend to smoke a little bit wetter. So I had to modify my technique a little bit with this pipe, and now it smokes great. But in purchasing this one, it didn't mean that I stopped smoking that one. And the more I smoked the old one, the more that the natural flame grain just started coming through beautifully. It wasn't like that when I first got it. In fact, it was much darker, which is a little bit contradictory, because the more you smoke a pipe, really, you know, the darker it gets from the oils in your hand holding it, and then, you know, the smoke, and then the nicotines and the tars kind of making their way through the briar. So I had bought this one to have a nicer version of this one, and in smoking this one over the past year, it patinaed beautifully. Now out of this one, I exclusively smoke Englishes, but I'll smoke some of the nicer English blends that I have out of this one, like the Solani English Luxury Mixture, the 779, or I'll smoke my Samuel Gawith Squadron Leader out of this one. You know, and I sort of only take it out now for those special blends. So those are my two Claude Romain pipes. Thank you very much for watching, and look forward to the next video.